Hi everyone. Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you've started the new year on a happy note. Today I just want to give you a dose of inspiration or motivation or something that would just help you throughout the week as most people have started going back into the normal routine of life. And I just thought about sharing about God's love because a lot of times people talk about God's love, but I don't think people fully understand and grasp how much God loves them. Like, do you understand just how much God loves you? And it took me a while, even though I've been, a Christian for a while, but it took me a while to actually fully, completely comprehend. In fact, I don't even think that I have started to fully comprehend how much God loves me. But I've gotten to a place of embracing how much God loves me and knowing that God just loves me no matter what. Like when He looks at me, He just falls all over me because He is so in love with me. And I want you guys to understand that. Because most of the time, people don't, they compare or they tend to want to understand God's love from the love that they've experienced. And usually, more often than not, people compare God's love or try to understand God's love from the perspective of a father's love. Unfortunately, we compare God's love, fatherly love, with the earthly love that we have received because we can't comprehend just how recklessly God loves us. Because, like, if most of us, depending on where you come from, we've always looked at God as being an authoritarian God, as being a disciplinarian God, as being a God of where you have to earn, you have to earn His love. He's a credit based God. Whatever you do, you get 2 points today. At the end of the day, you'll be like, yeah, you did well today. You get 2 points. And no, but remember, then you gossiped about so and so, so I'm taking away 3 points. But He's not that kind of God. He's not a God that keeps score. So today I just want to encourage you to just bask in God's love. Like one of the songs that I absolutely love that everyone talks about is Jaira by Maverick City. And that's a song that everyone loves and most people love the chorus. But my favorite part of that song is the beginning part where they talk about, I've never been loved, more loved than I am right now. And then they say, I wasn't holding you up. So there's nothing I could do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. Just imagine, like, God just loves you as you are. It doesn't take a trophy. I mean, He's just proud of you. You can never let God down. That's how much He loves you. And one of the stories or that really talks about God's love and God's relationship with us is when you look at David and David's story and you start to read the Psalms. Like David understood just how much God loves him. Like God made you, in His image. He created you in His image. He can't help it but to love you. They talk about, He will leave the 99 to come and get you. Like He's like, I don't, forget the 99. I've lost this one sheep. I am going to go and look for my one sheep. I would like for you to understand today that God just loves you like that. He created you and He created you in His own image. So when He looks at you, in Genesis, it talks about when He created everything, then He says, it is good. And that includes you, with your nose the way it is, with your eyes the way they are, with you being loud as you are, and people say you're so loud, or people say you're too quiet, and people say all sorts of things about you. But when God created you and He knew who you were going to be, He put all those little pieces in you to say that you are enough and you are perfect and He loves you. So I want to encourage us today to not always look for affirmation of love from outside of God's love, because outside of God's love it's limited. God's love is agape love. He's the one who created you, so He loves you just as you are. Don't try to change who God initially wanted you to be, because He loves you. He loves you just the way you are. And we the way that God created us is that we're all unique and we're all individuals, and you can't please everyone. You can't be the flavor for everyone. Other people think you're too loud. That's okay. Don't try and change for them. Other people think you're too quiet. That's okay. Don't try and change for them. You can't please everybody, but love who you are, because God loves you as you are. And that's the best way for you to be able to live out your purpose, is loving you, loving yourself as you are, as God has intended for you to be. God loves you. He loves you so much. He looks at you and he's just like, oh, I just love this child. I just love this child. I love everything about this child. I'm telling you the truth. Like, you're looking at me, you're like, wow. But that's how God loves you. If you read the story about David, it didn't matter what David did. And David understood this. It doesn't mean go around doing whatever you want to do, because there's always consequences. If you read the story of David, what later on happened to his son. But it doesn't change God's love, and it doesn't change whether or not he's proud of you. You know, it doesn't matter how far away you think you've gone. He still loves you. He still, you know, he just looks at you and he's like, oh my gosh, I just love this child. Like, think about, like, those of you who are parents, how much you love your child, and there's just nothing that your child can do that would make you love them any less, you know, and that's human love. Now imagine God's love. Like, they talk about his love. God's love is a reckless kind of love. What does that mean? It means he knows the risk of loving you, but he loves you anyway. He's reckless with his love. It doesn't matter where you spent the night. It doesn't matter what you've been doing or not doing. He looks at you and he just loves you. He looks at you and he's like, I love this person. I love them. Even if tomorrow they're going to go and mess up again, I still love them. I'm still proud of them. You never fall short of anything with God. You're just perfect in his eyes. He loves us to a fault, you know. That's why they talk about his reckless love. He just looks at you and he just loves you. And a lot of times God is just waiting there and is like, if only this person knew to not hide from me, because I'm the one that loves them. I'm the one that loves them no matter what. I wish this person would stop trying to look for approval and affirmation in other places. I want this person to know that they can come to me as they are, because I created them as they are. To come to me and feel my warm embrace and feel my love, because I love them just the way they are. Like, God's love is just, I don't even know what words to use for his love, you know, like, you know, other names of God. One of the names is Jehovah El Roi, and that means he sees. You know, when you go back to where they talk about El Roi, it's you'll understand that sometimes you are in a situation and you feel like you're an outcast. You feel like you don't belong. You feel like you don't belong, but God says you belong to me. That's enough. You belong to me. I'm Jehovah El Roi. I see you in the midst of a big crowd. I see you because I created you. He wants you to walk in that authority. It's like if you go to a club or if you go to an exclusive place and they're like, well, you can't go in. And you're like, well, I know the owner. Okay. And you need to walk in that kind of authority, you know, authority of knowing that God loves you. He loves you, that everything that he is and everything that is his is yours. He just loves you. And a lot of times we think, you know, God works on this credit system, and he, you know, at times he withdraws his love from us and at times he gives it. No. He loves us recklessly, good or bad. He still loves you. And the safest place, the most loving place you can ever go to, especially when you're broken or you're feeling lost, is back into the presence of God, because he loves you. And I think one of the main problems that we have a lot of times in life, in society, in the way that people treat each other, is because we have not ourselves accepted the depth of how much God loves us. When you start to understand how much God loves you, you know, as you are, unconditionally, then it will be easier for you to be able to express that kind of love to someone else, to show love, because the world needs love. And people talk about God is love, because love, it brings together people. It there's so much freedom in accepting God's love, because it's like, well, God says, I love you as you are. And I just want to encourage you today, as you start the week, just walk in God's love, walk in God's authority. As much as you've known human love is limited and conditional. It can only love you to a certain point and love you in a certain way. And God has no boundaries on his love. You can just waltz into God's presence and be like, hey, I know, I'm not the most perfect. And he's not concerned with that. He just wants you because he loves you just the way you are. He was there when you did what you did. He was there when you were doing what you were doing. And he still loves you. He has no judgment. He has no condemnation over you, because he loves you and he just wants you in his presence. So my prayer for today, and my wish and longing for you for today, is that you have the longing, and you decide to walk in God's love. You decide to seek to understand the agape kind of love that is unconditional, that just loves you the way you are. You are loved. You are loved just the way you are. And I just want to encourage you to receive that love, to feel God's love embracing you as you are, just as you are. God loves you. And that's my message for this week. Just walk in God's love. He loves you. He loves you. So, yeah, walk in God's love this week, and yeah, have a blessed week.